Hello everyone, welcome back to the Educated Colin Snap channel. How you doing? So today I have some gameplay for you, but it's not going to be like the traditional gameplay. Our buddy Shady Bunny is participating in a Twitch Rivals tournament. As you can see here, these are the list of participants. I it was supposed to be like experienced players and new players, but they kind of scrapped that, but they still have the same people. But essentially, Shady Bunny is not the most skilled Marvel Snap player, so kind of wanted to reach out and kind of teach him some of the gameplay mechanics. So that's essentially what we're doing in this gameplay video. I do have a deck list. It's like a Sera Darkhawk deck list, a little bit more control version of that deck list, and that's kind of the deck we're using to teach Shady. I kind of skipped the explanations, right, because I assume you guys know what the cards do, but we are going to be diving deep into archetype breakdowns. We're going to be diving deep into meta discussions, how we're playing, what we're thinking about. So it's a pretty in-depth series of gameplays. It's structured in a way where new players can understand what's going on, since Shady isn't like a new player, but he's like rank or like account level 60, right? So he's very fresh. So even though it's structured in where people can understand, you can still get something out of it if you are just trying to learn the particular archetypes and stuff. And we're definitely going to be doing more around it, right? This first kind of set of videos is just the gameplay. I also want to do a deep dive into archetypes themselves and just like what you're looking for against every single archetype, because I think that's something Shay's going to need for the matchup. So overall, that's the structure of these type of videos coming up, and I just wanted to let you know. If you like gameplay, feel free. If you like, deep dives into particular meta discussions, we're definitely going to have quite a bit of that for the foreseeable future. So overall, that's what I wanted to just kind of let you know before we start. But all in all, take care and have a wonderful rest of your day. Not like it's not like Hearthstone where it's like, I lost MMR. Like, it doesn't
Wait, are
actually.
you not gonna make Lobby Legends? Snap Lobby Legends this month?
There's none of that. So,
Oh shit, the locations are like kind of
yes. Oh god, you gotta learn the locations too. Well, that one's not as bad. Honestly, I think you could most locations you can learn on the fly, I guess. That's not true. It's not important. I mean, it is important, but
I'm just seeing like, I can't zoom, right? Because it's so fucking small.
Oh, I can. Okay, I can show you.
The cards with the highest power here get okay, sure.
Yeah, so I'll just click on them as we go. Turn one, we can't do anything. But I think what's important is like looking at your opponent, seeing what they're thinking, what they're doing, that kind of thing.
Oh wow, okay, that's already a.
That's already a what?
The location, right?
Yeah.
That seems like it makes a very weird game.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, that one is pretty interesting. So we can't do anything right now. Opponent hasn't done anything as well, which is pretty interesting. So we're gonna pass. Okay, he's playing a card. He's playing a Colin Wink. So at my point, I already know what he's playing, but I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the classic. So I don't know what that does. So
Yeah.
that's 4 power.
Yeah,
That's
so
2 mana 4
it
power.
discards the lowest cost card from your hand, essentially.
Sure.
And then Quantum Tunnel, after you play a card, you have to swap it with a card in your deck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so any thoughts on like what you're looking into, or any ideas of like what to play, that kind of thing?
I mean, the Jeff is the most flexible now, I guess.
Yeah, but you have 3 energy. I don't know if I necessarily want to use of the flexible card.
So then I don't know which one we've. You can play whichever 3 wherever you're gonna play it, because I still need to read. Because for me, it's like I don't know which one is higher priority, right?
Well, okay, so he's playing a discard deck. Probably, likely that he's not going to be running a ton of ones. Maybe he'll have. Damn.
Yeah. Okay.
it's true. Like it's going to be a little bit hard to know exactly. This is a good
Yeah, yeah,
game
yeah.
for him, by the way. But I'm gonna play it out just to kind of showcase the deck itself. Well, that's a pretty interesting counter of a top deck, right? Not not.
Okay.
I wouldn't necessarily
So
say we're
whatever
super.
they played there pulled a big minion, and
Yeah,
your
yeah,
BGH got pulled
yeah,
afterwards, killed
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
Killed it exactly. Yeah.
So we outskilled him, pretty much. Yeah, that's good.
And he could still like do pretty well. So he had an apocalypse, which is a card in this hand. What if it gets discarded? It will get stronger and go and stay in his hand. So essentially, so he's going to be scaling that up. I do think maybe it's better to just like go through archetypes, because
Yeah, sure.
I have to like explain the archetype, and that's gonna definitely it's gonna be hard to like even play the game.
I want the rock slide, yeah, so
Yeah,
that he pulls rocks, right?
yeah,
Okay.
definitely decent. I'm gonna play it here because you want it. If you play it here, it won't
Yeah,
reveal,
yeah.
right?
Essentially, it's left or right,
Yeah,
and we don't want it right because it's 5 power.
right. And there's nothing in our deck that
Yeah,
we
it's
even
not
want
going
to
to
pull.
be.
That's
Yeah,
like,
okay. But that means there's one location for to go.
so Dracula is a card that at the end of the game it discards a card in your head, and this gains its power.
Okay. Do we see what he discarded or not?
Um, it doesn't discard yet. So at the end of the game, it discards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
he usually wants to target his apocalypse. Is what's normally going to happen. Hmm. So this is like the unfortunate scenario.
Yeah.
So if
If
we
you like,
had better locations, so what he's gonna do, he's gonna play Modork, which discards all his whole hand. And what you could do is you could Cosmo to kind of counteract that Modork, and that would be like your way to win this game. But
if you
since
want to retreat, it's fine because
no,
we're still
we
gonna
can
get.
retreat turn six. So we're so,
Okay.
but
Yeah, Cosmo middle and hope or what?
theoretically you could Cosmo Middle and hope, but it's very unlikely that
Well, that's what my new brain wants to do. Yeah.
yeah,
But
I
then,
don't think he's playing Modork here. So he might do it here, but if he plays it here, the Cosmo will leave, right? So it'll get swapped. So it won't even work if we do it there. So okay, he's just swarm flooding, which is generally fine. We hit our thing. So he's probably is. So he doesn't have Modork essentially, but he has other cards. So he's just gonna flood swarm. He tried to hit Modork through this. Is what happened. Didn't hit it there. So generally not amazing. So he has two cards.
2 cards apart from his apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if he can play both, then the Dracula always pulls it, and he always wins left.
Yeah, I mean, winning left is pretty common.
Yeah.
We could put
Yeah.
10 power here and power here, but if he plays he can easily win here if he plays like anything. So it's not super clean.
So it's a 50-50 right now.
Oh, why didn't mine? Oh, cuz he has priority. Right. He has priority here. So it didn't even matter cuz his reveals first since he has priority. You see what I'm
All
saying?
right.
So
Yeah.
it didn't end up mattering there. But that would be the idea. So let's say I had a 2-drop that had a lot more power, which I guess only Lizard, but that Lizard would just be a tie, so that wouldn't even be right. We'd lose the left, right, since we tie middle. But that would be the idea here. But yeah, generally Modork middle was what I was thinking, which we did have, but the problem is we didn't have priority since he had more power on the board that last turn, and then since he had priority, his Modork flipped that procced everything generally. But even if he had priority, we could still have won if we had more power in the middle lane, right? So obviously left lane would be hard because the Dracula's very likely going to hit something big. But even if we didn't have that, we could maybe try winning the middle lane there. So that would have been our game plan for winning this. But you kind of have to know the archetypes, yeah. Like once you see an archetype, it'll be a lot easier to remember like how it runs, because not all archetypes run similarly. I will say like these are like infinite players, so sometimes they play weird stuff. But I try to like this card is like pretty clear cut to explain, but sometimes some of the other ones are a little bit more like, what are they doing here? So once again, we don't have early game, which is maybe something I need to take a look at this deck. I would say normally I did add an extra 2-drop because of this issue, but we're still kind of having the same kind of no early game thing, but it might not be too impactful. So oh right, let's click on this one. On after turn 3, all cards switch sides,
and after, read it.
After you play a card here, you double its power. And then cards here with no abilities have +3 power. So we do have a card that gives you no abilities, which is Doctor Doom. The Doom bots don't have an ability, so that would be something there. So he's snapping here. No cards played, which could tell us some things, but also could also be not as important. So definitely an interesting particular.
So you'd wave middle or?
Yeah, generally you want to wave later on, but I think since he hasn't played any early games, he's probably not playing like a bounce deck or anything that floods a lot. So you could generally wave middle, and that would probably be okay. You do have to be a little bit scared of what's that one card? Galactus, yeah. So he's going Electro and probably going to Galactus there. I would say very likely.
Explain what it is.
Oh, it destroys your the other locations essentially. So it's a 6-drop that if played will destroy the other locations.
And why is it good for them that they give us Electro?
Oh, because this has right. Right. Okay. So it has an honor V. You can only play 1 card at a turn. Yeah. That's right. You're right. I should be mentioning these things.
That's fine. So I guess Sera somewhere, or do we want to kill off the Electro with the Enchantress? Or does it not remove ongoing like that?
It does remove the ongoing, but the thing is Galactus will lock you into those lanes anyways. So even if you do that, you're still going to be.
So he's going to Galactus and it's going to kill off
the wave, essentially. Very likely.
And he's always going to Galactus on
the left side, yeah, to keep the Electro on the board. Theoretically, he might just also play a Doctor Doom or something if he doesn't have that. But so this is a common Galactus card, but he'd also be playing Electro Ramp.
So why is the well, if it's Electro Ramp, why would he give us the Electro?
Oh, because it still limits your it still limits me to play 1 card per turn, right? And that's still a pretty big downside. So he did go. So it does seem to be just Electro Ramp, which is a little bit different. He went for the
like Rock Slide over the Sera, by the way. Why was that?
Oh, just in case it was Galactus, it's a little bit more power with the Darkhawk if that's the idea. So you could maybe do like Darkhawk into Shang-Chi or something, just to have a little bit more power.
And how much does Galactus cost?
6.
But that ends the game then, right? Or
no, it costs 6, but it's like the turn. There's 6 turns in the game, so you can play something. So this gives you more energy, essentially. So you can play things above, like before.
Oh, on reveal, right? So he gets the energy. Okay, I got it. Yeah. I mean, just play the card for now, Collins. I'm just taking it in.
So. Yeah, I'm thinking this.
Yeah, you think. Just don't wait for me.
So we're just gonna go Darkhawk into maybe Doom or something like that. But he might go like Doom and into Odin or something. That's what I would think he would do. So like maybe Doom. Oh, he's Zoloing. So he's playing double Darkhawk. Okay. I've actually never seen that. I gotta be honest. I've never seen someone do that play.
Yeah. So what is? Yeah, I don't know why. You
got okay. Oh, right. I keep forgetting. So Zola will destroy a minion. here, and then you'll add copies of it to the other locations.
Yeah.
So you destroyed the leader, and then you play 2 leaders, and then leader procs twice. So so leader copies the enemy card with the highest power played this turn, but he puts it on your side. So he copied the Darkhawk since I played it, and then he puts it on the side. But since he has 2, he gets 2 copies of the Darkhawk. Essentially, is what happened. So we could just Shang-Chi and kill both of them, and then we can also play Jeff. So Jeff isn't restricted by this. Like nothing can stop Jeff from being played. Essentially.
Okay.
So since you could still just Jeff it up, right? So we can maybe put Jeff on the left side here.
And Shang-Chi kills everything with 9+ or what?
Yeah. So they have to have the same power. Oh no, that's not true. Yeah, it'll kill everything with 9+.
Wow. Yeah, that's a efficient BGH, AOE BGH.
So the downside is he can Odin here, right? And that will but it's fine. I'll play it out. But he can Odin here, and then since we are both playing 3 power cards, he should copy both of them, I believe. But if he doesn't do that, then we might have a good chance. Yeah. So he is Odin here. Yeah, he'll get both of them. Okay. So that's something I did want to mention, right? And then he'll win the tiebreaker. But I still, from learning purposes, it's still good. But that's the idea, right? So.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's a pretty common strategy for like Electro Ramp, right? You'll play leader or you'll play Doctor Doom, and then you'll Odin the card in the final turn. So that's like the archetype here. You're trying to just copy really good 6 drops. So either leader, either this Doctor Doom. So he almost assuredly has this as well. The Zola is definitely a not common strategy. It could mean he's playing like also a Black Panther, which gets better if it gets copied essentially. So it'll like double dip on its on reveal effects, that kind of thing. So, but that's this idea. So Galactus is a definitely other strategy where it'll destroy the lanes, and then you have to play from there. So we kind of played assuming Galactus, but ended up being Electro Ramp. So those are the 2 more common strategies. If you see an Electro, you're either thinking Galactus or Electro Ramp, essentially. But I mean, as we go through archetypes, then it'll make more sense. But that's just the idea there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You didn't know Jeff could be stopped from hand. Yeah, nothing can stop Jeff. So it's a great card, honestly. So yeah, I mean,
play it into Professor X as well.
Yeah, you could do that. All right. So once again, we don't have any 1-drops. There's no 1-drops in our deck, so we're never gonna have it. Vibranium Mines. After you play a card here, you shuffle 3 Vibraniums into your deck. I do want to mention that this has a really good effect with Darkhawk, since Darkhawk cares about cards in their deck. If your opponent plays here, you'll get more procs for your Darkhawk. So your Darkhawk can be really strong if your opponent is playing into there.
What's Vibranium?
It is it's a 1 energy 4 power card that cannot be destroyed. So something you can do is check the opponent's deck at the beginning of the game, just to see if they have 14. If they have 14, it means they're playing Thanos, because Thanos will put stones in a deck. So
there's no animation at the start.
No, but you can always check their deck.
Yeah.
To know that. So that's like a little bit extra work. Usually you'll be able to tell after they play a card, because their first cards are usually stones. But there's 5 different stones, and we'll talk about them as they show up. Yeah. So Icebox gives a card in the opponent's hand +1 cost. So that hit our Enchantress here. So now our Enchantress costs 5 instead of the normal 4. So here we're going to play. We don't really want to play into the mines if we can avoid it. So we'll just play Zabu in the middle. I'm not playing in the unknown location because I don't want to like have something pop up for this particular card that could be bad. So Time Stone gives the opponent 1 extra energy next turn. So he'll have 4 energy, and then Power Stone just has an ongoing. If you've played all the 6 stones, Thanos has +10 power. So Thanos is the 6-drop. It's a 6 cost card that has 10 energy. I don't know why it looks like that. It shouldn't look like that. Now, Pet Mansion, all cards have to be played here, or all cards this turn have to be played here. So if we're gonna play a card, we have to play it here, unless you're playing Jeff. Jeff doesn't care, but but yeah,
Sure.
I think a rock slide here makes a lot of sense.
So why is the rock slide grayed out? That's the artwork, or
Oh yeah, so I have it's like a special type of card essentially. We could play base. We could play base artwork.
no. It's just it looks like it's not playable because it's gray, right? So
Oh yeah,
so
I guess for new players, it definitely could look like that, right? Because
I mean, I can tell now because it's glowing, and we obviously can pay for it. But.
right, but yeah, it's just the art. I could definitely switch the art to like full color.
I know it's just something to not immediately skip over.
All right, so he's playing Killmonger, just to kind of clear his board state. It also means he could be playing like a death version of Thanos, or he could also be playing a Lockjaw version of Thanos. But
Those mean nothing to me, but
right, that's right. They don't mean anything.
I'm just trying to remind you every time, right? That's fine.
So here we could tempo Enchantress, or we could hold Enchantress and try to find a better use case for it here, which means we're replaying one of these two. I don't think I want to waste Jeff here if I can avoid it. So
okay,
it's probably Cosmos somewhere.
okay.
And where likely is it going to be good? It's probably one of the two. I mean, it's kind of a flip. We can go Cosmo middle and see where it goes. All right, so Cosmo might deny something. So he's going Lockjaw into Stone. So he does. So he is playing the Lockjaw version. He hit a rock, which is pretty bad. The rock we got from we gave him from the rock slide. Also, the Reality Stone. I wonder if you can see it here. No, you can't. But the Reality Stone would change the deck list. It's kind of like Scarlet Witch in that it replaces the location with a new one. But it also draws them a card. He doesn't get the draw because of the Cosmo, right? The Cosmo will prevent that draw.
Yeah.
So, it's probably going to play another card there. We'll see. So we can just follow up. Still don't want to play into Sera. He doesn't want to do that either as well because of the
So we're putting like something there at the end just to contest it, or
yeah. So we're either playing Sera here or Sera right. Also, I think this is like a pretty good scenario to snap if we were, but since he hit the rock, right, and he also knows we're playing Darkhawk, but we're not going to
do like you normally would, right? So I can understand.
No, I think that's not. That's actually not. Well, I think it's better to learn the game, but and add snapping as a secondary. You don't want to. I think you don't want to kind of make it more confusing. I definitely think you can add on snapping comparative to trying to put it into the game as well. So he played wave here, meaning that we can only play one card. So it does counter the Sera a little bit, but it's not like that big of a deal.
So we were hoping to go Doom and Jeff
and maybe Jeff, yeah. But like just playing Doom itself is also perfectly fine. And there's not really a lot of like easy things he can do, I would say, to
so the Thanos is gonna just win one lane, but then it's going to be tough for him to do anything.
I think he leaves, honestly. I don't think he'll stay.
Sure.
But this is why I was saying, like, we could have snapped.
When you leave, it doesn't matter if you leave early or not. Like you always lose the same amount of cubes, or no?
You'll lose the same amount of cubes unless I snapped the turn, but like beforehand.
Okay, so if a snap happens and it goes up to 4 and he then leaves,
he loses 4. He loses 4.
He loses 4. Okay, but if he ends, he loses 8.
Yes, that's correct.
Because it'll double double before the end result.
Yeah,
okay,
that's correct. So, if we snapped like last turn and he stayed in, then it would be 2 here, and then it would go to 4. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Wait, no. So we take. We take 1.
We take the 1 here, yes. But if we snapped last turn, it would have doubled to 2, and then.
Wait, why does it say final 2 then?
So this is the final turn, and if this turn completes, it'll double to 2.
Oh, so it always does that.
Yeah, it always does that. Yeah, it'll always double on the final turn.
Sure.
And then
So
we both
unless
can
someone
snap
snaps, you
once.
always leave last. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
And so, but if somebody snaps and you wanted to leave, you just leave, because otherwise you'll lose one more.
Yeah. Well, it could be one or two more, right? Like, so let's say I snapped and then he snaps back and I want to leave, then you leave for 2. But if it stays in, then it'll go to 4. And then if it's the final turn, it'll go to 8. So you just have to be aware of that.
Okay.
So, that's so okay, let's talk about his deck. So he's playing a Thanos, right? He's playing a Thanos Lockjaw deck. It relies on stones and it relies on the Lockjaw to kind of pull out big cards for him, and that will kind of give him his edge there.
So Lockjaw is a battle cry that pulls a minion.
No, it doesn't have a battle on reveal or battle cry or anything like that. It's just when you play a card here, it'll swap over a card in your deck, and it's only once per turn.
Oh, okay. So it's a ongoing, just exchange machine type thing.
Yeah, but it doesn't have ongoing on it, though. But it's kind of like an ongoing, so you can't remove this effect.
That's wording to get around counter ongoings.
Yeah, so okay. So it functions like an ongoing, but it doesn't have the ongoing tag.
Do you know why that was? That they did that, or
I don't know. They love no, they don't love Lockjaw. I don't know why they did that. No. Maybe it'd be too annoying if people could remove it or something.
Texas Flip just subbed.
Hey, thank you for the Prime sub, much appreciated. All right, so we're seeing different archetypes, which is nice, right? Because it means we can cover a wide range of things. But what we haven't seen Bounce yet, which I think is something you're going to see in the tournament or the rivals. So that would be cool. Yeah, and on command, we're getting a bounce opponent. All right, this guy, I see a lot of the same guys. This guy plays like Galactus a lot of the time, but we'll see. So once again, we don't have a 1, and this is like we've seen this location before where it swaps to. So Mojo World, whoever has the most cards here gets plus 100 power. So basically, if you have more cards here, you're going to win the lane because 100 power is really hard to deal with. All right, so he's playing a 2 here. He's playing Daredevil, just to get a feel for things. So Stark Tower, after turn 5, you give all cards here plus 2 power. All right.
So our deck doesn't contest middle very well because we don't have a lot of cheap things.
No, not really. We can like full go on middle, but other than that, it doesn't really contest super duper well. No. I'm generally fine for putting the Killmonger in this lane and seeing if we can hit something powerful. Though we have a lot of our hits are in our hand as well, but we'll see. Okay, so he's going Electro as well. It's a pretty good, right? Because he'll swap it away. I will say the locations have been, decent for our opponents here, but whatever. Zabu. Fine. So, from this, right? I also know the player, and they do play a lot of Galactus. It's something that I do see a lot, which is kind of an issue because
so he's going to preserve the Mojo World, I guess. Or...
Well, so he has Daredevil, right? So if I wanted to like psych the Galactus, I probably would have needed to like wave already and then go like Cosmo, but like that's not even that great of a play.
Okay.
I guess we'll go Darkhawk here. But it's not great either. This isn't our setup isn't super great. Yeah. Yondu, okay. So Daredevil turn 5, you get to see your opponent's plays before you make your own.
Oh, okay.
This is a card you might want to run, just because it's like
Mhm.
very easy.
Yeah,
For
defending.
like for you to be like, oh, I guess this helps me figure out what to do. So this is definitely a card I could see you playing
Okay.
just to learn. Um, ugh.
So they know what we do.
Yeah, which is a problem. All right, whatever. It's fine.
So what's the reasoning for putting her middle?
Uh, generally, I mean, I just to see. Okay, so he's going wave, which is not great.
And he pulled us.
He pulled a Chavez, so it starts at the bottom of your deck essentially. So you get to play one card.
So
If we would. Are you saying anything? Because I can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me or
Yeah,
no?
I can hear you now.
So if you chunk She on the left,
Yeah.
it'll still kill the Chavez.
Yes.
But then if he wins right,
Yeah.
or if he ties right, it's always a win because of the so he needs 8 power or more and then he wins the game.
Yeah.
On the right.
Yeah, on the right, which is not like that hard to do, I would say.
Yeah. Okay, so this is where you would retreat.
Yeah, this is
if
where I'd
that's
probably retreat. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
then retreat. That's fine.
Yeah, I know, but we can talk about it. I'm
Yeah, no, it's
perfectly
good.
fine with wasting his time.
But now it's good that I understand, right? So that because you want to boil it down to what matters, right? The essence, and the essence here is if he has 8 power, right? That's over.
Yeah,
Okay.
there are things we could do. Like, let's say we have like Doctor Doom middle, but then he could
Yeah.
also have like Doctor Doom as well, right? And that would also be. But it's likely he's playing Galactus, which doesn't run Doctor
You
Doom.
want to retreat or not?
Yeah, he probably
Okay.
has like Death or maybe Null or something like that. Is very likely for this player here. But yeah, he's playing a. He's definitely looking like he's playing a Galactus deck. It just doesn't have just didn't play the Galactus this time. Wanted to do something else. All right. All right, so Mirror Dimension, turn 4 transform into one of the other locations. So this will be one of the other locations we'll see, essentially. Once again, we don't have anything on turn 1, so can't do anything. All right, finally someone's okay, this is bounce. So Bask will set the power of all cards in your hand to 3. So he plays this and everything in his hand goes to 3. Very strong to play on 1, by the way. Just want to throw that in there. But here, District X will replace both decks with 10 random cards. So now our deck is different, and we'll just have 10 random cards. So this is a card we just drew, randomly generated here. So I think we'll just drop this somewhere.
Can you hover the best again?
Yes. So it's an on reveal, set the power of all cards in your hand to 3.
And then he has a lot of swarm.
He has a lot of cheap cards, exactly. Yes.
Oh, so the Killmonger is a good card against
it is a good card against this, yes. Probably going to just drop this here somewhere. I think it's a very like scary seeming card. I would say into District X maybe it's not as scary, right? Because they know but they don't know. They don't know if it's hard.
Sure, you could have some big stuff in your hand.
Yeah. So they're going Debris. Okay. So this is a card they also got for free. So we hit District X again, so now we have a new list of cards. So Titania is a 1 cost 5 energy, but if a card is played here, it switches sides. So it can be hard to control where it ends up.
So that's ideally in the last turn.
Yeah, very likely.
With you revealing last, I'm guessing.
Something like that, yeah.
Sure.
We could just tempo a Cyclops, or we could maybe like Enchantress. Just tempo and Enchantress has more power. I think tempo Cyclops is. I don't know if we're ever going to
Right, if you have time, because you're
Yeah,
gonna kill Monger at some
yeah,
point.
at some point, yeah. So I think maybe it's just better to get the 5 power down.
And what does the card do that he played right side?
It gives rocks to both locations. So
Okay.
both locations have rocks here.
Which favors them because they have like small buffs.
Well,
and shit.
well, he got it randomly. So he just like he
Oh,
might
okay,
have
okay.
just tempoed it, you know, like oh yeah, because um
So what this comes down to a lot of the time is that they're afraid of Killmonger, so they're holding their ones until the last
yeah,
turn, and then
until the
you
last
kind of need
turn.
to
Yeah.
predict where they're going and hit them that
So
way.
so the problem is I need to not have priority essentially.
Yeah, for that to work. Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense. Hmm.
And it's a little bit hard to not unless I do like nothing this turn. Which
But then you need to know where the one drops are coming down, but you probably will. Or you
well,
could
I
do the math.
mean, it doesn't. I mean, we could do nothing. The other line is you play like Scarlet Witch or something.
Yeah, whichever one you think is best. It's good to just observe here. It's also hard for me to know exactly how much power they're adding with their final push. With
Yeah, exactly. I don't even know. To be fair, I'm down to do nothing and see what he plays here. He's going for magic. Okay, so that will change the turns of this game.
Sure.
Here.
So, is there a way where you like either wave now, Killmonger next turn, or Killmonger now, wave the last turn? Is that what we're thinking? Because we're trying
Yeah,
to
you can
counter.
also Scarlet Witch it away. So we
Ooh.
we actually have some interesting things to do.
So we can go Scarlet Witch wave, and that will block them from doing their
Yes,
plan?
we can also go Killmonger, Scarlet Witch. I wonder if Squirrel Girl's better than Titania.
Right, because you're afraid that they have priority though, right?
Yeah, they do have priority, so they'll play their
So-
cards and then.
So doesn't your Titania never leave your side, or?
True. I guess that's true. That is
Okay.
true. The only downside is the Dracula could hit it, but I guess
I mean,
that's not a
don't do
bad.
it if
That's
you don't wanna
not
do
that's
it.
not that bad of
Okay.
a downside that you're tossing. So we could do this. That is a fair play. That's a fair play.
Okay. So you just want to, yeah. I guess the Scarlet Witch makes more sense because they're thinking they have that turn.
Yeah,
and
yeah. It's nice to like
Sure.
subvert their expectations, that kind of thing. So they're proccing it again, essentially. But then we do. So this is something that people don't expect, right? The Scarlet Witch here.
Oh, the Killmonger hits everything. Is AoE, everything. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes the play a lot easier. You just want the Killmonger down when they have priority, and
once again, the Dracula did hit the Squirrel Girl, which is what I talked about, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But I mean, your average power goes up. It's just that the Dracula's power might be more important.
Arguably, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only reason. Though. Okay, cool.
But yeah, but yeah, we do get the win here because of that.
We end the round. So yeah, that's cool.
That's kind of like the power of this. This is a card that can get you 8 cubes, so it's actually good for climbing. I wouldn't necessarily say it's like super good for like battle mode because people are gonna know where your deck is, I assume. So they'll be thinking about it, right? Where in this day, no one's thinking about this because it's too rare.
Being the noob, I want to throw more randomness in the game, right?
Yeah. I mean, but that can backfire on you as well. So
of course. Yeah. But it's just like it's the same as in Hearthstone, where if you have like casino cards, that favors the weaker player, right? Because like anything that's closer to 50-50 or whatever is better for me.
Right, probably. I see what you're saying.
But yeah, it's fine. It's not a big point, so we don't have to talk
but
about
Odin you've seen before, right? It activates you. Yeah, okay. And then magic gives you can't play this on the last turn, but it will
But you
change the
know that.
location to there's a turn 7 essentially.
Okay.
So this is one of the only cards that can like do something like that where you're like, oh, the game is longer now because we played this. And then I think every other card we've seen. So that if we fought him normally, that would have been a bounce deck, and the bounce deck is definitely a deck I want to show because I think it's going to be something you see a lot. But unfortunately, you know, District X kind of changed that. So Shadowlands will add a ninja with -2 power essentially. So we start with an extra card, and we start with a -2 power thing. All right, we're gonna end their turn because once again we don't have a 1-drop.
Really bad at drawing these 1-drops.
I'm throwing at that.
We could be horrible at drawing these 1-drops.
All right, so I do want to tempo this here just to have something to play, just a 3 power. Like it's not that important that I have to hold it, so we just depend on where we want to play it. I think this affects our opponent probably more than us, and then we could also put it on the unknown location. But I'm actually down for more chaos, so I'll put it here.
Sure.
Because they, you know, it'll showcase more stuff. So, Vibranium Mines could be good actually for us. Big House is kind of bad. I'm gonna be honest, because unless we get Zabu, we can't really play into this very easily. So I guess I'll just tempo the Cosmo here, just to have something in this location since it's kind of hard to play. One has played nothing so far. Plays Debris. Okay, first card Debris. Could be a junk deck. Could be Patriot. Could be. What else could it be? Yeah, junk and Patriot are my 2 thoughts, but it could be other things. So the Cosmo denies the rocks essentially.
Yep. So, Darkhawk somewhere? Or?
The only issue with Darkhawk is that if we Darkhawk, he's gonna know that he shouldn't play into here. You know. Okay. Alternatively, you could go like Wave into Doom into Darkhawk Jeff.
Sure. You want to do that instead?
I don't know if that's better. The other line is you go Darkhawk, but I guess this is probably fine.
Yeah, no, I
guess it's fine. It doesn't look like he's playing Galactus or anything because he played Debris. Debris is not in the Galactus deck, so we'll see. But he could be playing Patriot or so. Okay, so he's Spider-Manning. Spider-Man means I can't play in this lane. This turn. Which is generally not that problematic, right?
Does the Boombot appear there or not?
Yeah, the Boombot will appear there. Okay. If he played Professor X, then it wouldn't, essentially. So that is something to be aware of.
Oh, okay. Sure.
But I'm down with
Dr. You want to Doom and you got to Doom it left. So
yeah.
You just have to do it.
So he might go like, but we get priority. He might go Professor X here, but we get priority. Yes. All right. So, yeah. So he just, so yeah, now he leaves.
Okay. Yeah, it's over.
Yeah. So that was his idea, right? He'll Spider-Man here, and then he'll Professor X. But since we have priority, the bots will get in there before it procs, and then he can't win. So he just immediately leaves. But that's the idea there.
So what's his plan for the turn after then?
So he was playing. He would try to win one of the other lanes essentially. So he's playing. He is playing junk. It looks like. Now the thing about junk, which is probably why he immediately left, is because they usually have a lot of early game with junk. So,
so just had a bad roll.
Yeah. So he didn't play anything on 1 and 2. So he was probably already feeling bad about this game. And then we also messed up his Debris, which kind of limits his lockdown potential, right? So he's trying to just not let you do stuff, essentially, right? So this can prevent you from doing stuff by locking lanes. This can prevent you from doing stuff. So he's trying to make it super awkward for you to play, but he usually has early game, which he didn't really see here. So no 1-drop, no 2. There's like a card like Nebula, Sunspot. Like if we see him, there's early game that he could have played, but he didn't have it, so he was probably feeling bad. And then he went for this read where you sunspawn and then you lock it down, right? So then he wins that lane very easily. I will say with Jeff in the game, right, it's not as crystal clear that he wins there, right? Because even if, let's say he locked it down, right, and the Doombot didn't work, I could still Jeff there. So that's like the weakness of this deck right now, in that there's now counterplay that wasn't there before. So this is a pretty new card in the game.
Oh, okay,
Uh,
sure.
so when people did stuff like this, you couldn't really easily affect this lane. But now since people have this, people can now like still affect that lane in a meaningful way. So, but after this didn't work out, right? Definitely he can't win, right? So he just immediately left, right? So you don't have to leave. You really don't have to leave the game unless someone snaps you. Almost ever.
But it just doesn't cost them time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but he just assumes, oh, there's no way for me to win from this point. Let me just leave. Like he was probably already feeling frustrated with the game, right? Like this was like everything didn't work out, right? Cosmoed him, and then set up his setup. Like it's just not a good game for him. So he was just like done with it.